Hello, and right now I'm going to do something a little different. We're going to do some wrestling talk right here. I'm going to talk about Wrestlemania 32 and what it means to me. I've been watching wrestling as far as I can remember. I was born when the very first telecast of the very first Wrestlemania was on. And then ever since that moment, everything that I've ever remembered wrestling figures, wrestling clothes, watching wrestling, videotaping wrestling, NWA, WCW, the WWF, ECW, Ring of Honor, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestling Society X, Lucha Underground, Lucha Libre USA, NXT. I'm one of those guys that used to watch Sunday Night Heat. I used to watch Velocity. I used to watch Jacked, Metal, WWF Confidential. I used to watch WCW's The Main Event. I used to watch WCW Saturday Night. I used to watch WCW Worldwide, ECW Hardcore TV. I watched all the pay-per-views, everything involving in wrestling. And that's what I want to talk about Wrestlemania 32. Because I want to talk about what's missing. Now, everybody wants to bag on Roman Reigns. I don't like Roman Reigns, but I understand why Vince likes him. Vince is like Hogan and Rock and Cena and Lesnar. He's a beefed up muscle guy. And he's Samoan, and if you look at the history of the Samoans, you have the Wild Samoans who were tag team champions in the 70s. You had The Rock's father, Rocky Johnson, was a tag team champion. The High Chief Peter Maivia. Rikishi, before he was ever Rikishi, was part of the Head Shrinkers, and he was in there with Samu. The Barbarian is Samoan, and he was a former tag team champion. You have the success of the Usos. Yokozuna was Samoan, not Japanese. 3-minute warning, which Rosie was Roman Reigns' brother. Nia Jax, who's a cousin of The Rock. You have, of course, The Rock. One of the most successful Samoans ever. You look at all the success the Usos have had. It goes on and on and on. But let's talk about the matches. Well, back in my day, they used to book WrestleMania a year in advance. It would start way before the Royal Rumble, and you would see bits and pieces of rivalries start. And back in those days, like, let's go back to when I was in high school. When I was in high school, I want to show you the main events, the big marquee matches that took place when I was in high school. You had WrestleMania 15 when I was in my first year of high school. The main event, Rock versus Austin, which was built up for 8 months. For 8 months they teased Rock and Austin, and then Austin won the Royal Rumble. And they built it up, and it was one of the best build-ups. You had the Corporation versus The Rock. You had the beer truck. You had Austin going after The Rock, and it really elevated both men. You had the Big Show and Mick Foley to be the referee, which had the Big Show costing Mankind the WWF Championship. Another big match would be Kane and Triple H, which took place, where Triple H turned his back on DX, turned on him that night, but you had Kane, and there's back and forth between Kane and Triple H, which was a good match. Let's go to the next year. WrestleMania 16 main event, first time ever, fatal 4-way. You build it up. Triple H versus The Rock versus The Big Show versus Mick Foley. And that match was such a big deal. And you had all these pieces moving together to make this awesome main event. But that was also the first year where we saw the triple threat ladder match, which was building ever since October, when the Hardys and Edge and Christian had that amazing ladder match. And then at the Royal Rumble, the Hardys battled the Dudleys, and then it all culminated with this triangle ladder match. Next year, WrestleMania 18. After that, you had WrestleMania 17, which that had the first TLC match. Great build-up for that. It had Shane McMahon versus Vince McMahon, which was basically WCW versus WWF. The storyline was built really well, and it was a nice build-up to the street fight. But you had Rock versus Austin, which was such a good build-up, and that match delivered with Austin turning heel with Vince. From there, the following year, you have WrestleMania 18, which is the first time ever they did once in a generation, which they buried to shit later on. But it was Hogan and The Rock. It was Hogan's first appearance at WrestleMania since WrestleMania 9. It was a big deal. Big deal, big match. And in the main event, you had Triple H, his first WrestleMania back since blowing his quads, which was him and Jericho. And it was a great match. And then you go from that to 2003. And the big... That WrestleMania was good. WrestleMania 19. Stone Cold Steve Austin's last match against The Rock. Good match. Rock finally beats Austin. You have Hulk Hogan versus Mr. McMahon. Roddy Piper makes an appearance. You have Booker T versus Triple H, which had a very weak build-up. But then you had the match that was built for 5 months. Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar, the match everybody wanted to see. The match where Brock almost broke his neck. But it was a great, great match. So let's fast forward. Over the past couple WrestleManias, top to bottom, the cards have sucked. Now, anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge wrestling fan. I watch it every year, but I'm disappointed every year because they never build it up. And this year, it's like a house card. They're throwing everything together. I'm not going to talk about Roman Reigns first because I'm going to go on a whole tangent about that. Let's break down the matches. You have two Divas matches on the card. Now, one of them could be good. You have Charlotte, you have Becky Lynch, and you have Sasha. Where's the build-up? They could have started building this up months ago, but they did not. Now, I've seen this match in NXT before, so I know that all three can pull, but since Charlotte came over to the roster, she has not been doing what she needs to do. She doesn't try. It looks like she half-asses it all the time. People couldn't take her as a babyface, that's why they turned her heel. It's just, she's not that good of a champion. And with her having Ric Flair there, one of the most overrated wrestlers on the frickin' planet, he's always interfering, so it's more like Ric Flair's there, so that's why she's a heel. The other match, I don't care. It's some 8-man tag, 8 diva tag team bullshit. I guess, yeah, it's alright. We're gonna see the Dudleys versus the Usos, possibly in the table match at WrestleMania. Okay, the Dudleys, yeah, they turned them heel, but if you're gonna turn them heel, why the Usos? Usos have not made a splash. The fans really don't care for them lately. It's really not a good match. It's probably not going to be that good, and it seems like a match that could happen on Raw at any time. So I'm not real big on it. The build-up has been small. The Dudleys beat them up a couple times. They wrestled already once on pay-per-view. If it's WrestleMania, it's got to be special. Next match that I'm going to discuss is AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. Now, their first match on pay-per-view at Fastlane was disappointing. Horribly disappointing. Chris Jericho looked out of shape and didn't look like he tried that hard. AJ Styles, him trying to adapt to WWE style is hard. Because people that don't know, AJ Styles started in WCW, but they don't want to Ring of Honor, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling. And one thing that I have issues with is they're not letting AJ be AJ. AJ can fly around the ring. He can do 450 splashes. If they ever let him do the spiral tap, the real Red Arrow, or the Pillsbury Flop, I'll be happy. Because he's really good in that ring. And I just hope that Jericho elevates his game for WrestleMania. But this will be their 4th or 5th match already. I would have preferred it if it was like something else. Somebody else. It would have been better. There's so many other people that AJ could have wrestled at WrestleMania. Which is going to lead me to this. I love Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is a great wrestler, great in-ring tactician. But at WrestleMania, for the 2nd year in a row, we're going to have a 8-man ladder match. Now, one man, there's a few people that don't belong in this match. Let me count the ways. First off, Kevin Owens deserves to be in this match. Sami Zayn, he's been busting his ass on NXT. He deserves this match. Dolph Ziggler, he always deserves a shot at WrestleMania because he can steal the show if he really wants to. I'm a huge Ziggler fan too. People that don't belong in this match, Sin Cara has lost almost every match he's been in lately. Stardust, it's a failing character. I wish he would go back. I wish Stardust would go back to being Cody Rhodes. I really do. Because he's weak. The Miz. The Miz is a piece of garbage. He doesn't win any matches. All he does is do his talk show stuff. And now he's going for the Intercontinental Championship. And the one that irritates me the most is Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder is friends with John Cena. This is why he is still employed with WWF. Or WWE, sorry. When's the last time he did something of relevance? Something that was good? He hasn't. Zack Ryder is on NXT as part of the tag team The Hype Bros with Mojo Rawley. And both of them are overrated. The only reason Zack Ryder's in this match is because Neville wrestled a match against Chris Jericho and Neville injured his ankle. So therefore he is out and will not be in the match. Now what I would have had instead of Zack, anybody. You could have given somebody a spot. Somebody that's never wrestled at WrestleMania. An opportunity. A chance. It would have been an opportunity to bring somebody from NXT up. Somebody to give them an opportunity. Because the Intercontinental title match, it is going to be good. But what they should have done instead is had Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. And it should have been like a street fight, first blood, something. It should have continued their feud in NXT and made this WrestleMania Intercontinental Championship match something to live up to. But now it's just another ladder match. Another ladder match. Now, one match it does not have a lot of hype, but I actually want to see it, is Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar in a street fight. Now, Dean Ambrose lately has been getting weapons from Terry Funk and Mick Foley. What people don't realize, before he ever came to the WWE, he was a hardcore wrestler. He wrestled in Combat Zone Wrestling, bloodied with barbed wire and all this good shit. But it's him and Lesnar. What I want for that match is I want it to be violent, bloody, over the top. And I don't want no blood capsule shit like Roman did a couple weeks ago. I want straight up old school in your face wrestling. I want it all over the arena. I want tables broken, chairs used, everything. Because originally this was supposed to be Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt. The reason why it's not Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt, even though they want to still do that match, is Bray has a back injury right now. Which is why he hasn't been on TV wrestling. And then last week, frickin' Luke Harper got injured, and he's out for 6 months with his knee, so the Wyatt family ain't gonna be wrestling at WrestleMania unless Braun Strowman's in that Andre the Giant Battle Royal match, which he could probably win because they think that Braun's gonna be their next guy. But I'll talk about the Battle Royal here in a second. So Lesnar and Ambrose is probably going to be really good. Something to really look forward to. Not much of a build-up, though. Has one of the better build-ups of any of the WrestleMania matches. But it was last-minute change. If you wanted, if they would have listened to the crowd, Ambrose has been getting great reactions for a year. Yet they keep pushing that. I'll get to him in a minute. They keep pushing somebody else when they should have pushed Dean Ambrose. He's a great worker. He's really good on the mic. He's good in that ring. There's the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now, I don't have a problem with this because, one, for those of you that do not know, Andre the Giant in the 70s and 80s was one of the biggest attractions. Larger than life. Andre the Giant won more battle royals than anybody else in the history of this business. Andre the Giant was an attraction. Andre the Giant went 13 years without getting beaten. Nobody ever talks about that. Andre the Giant did not go off his feet. Did not get picked up until Hulk Hogan slammed him in 1987 at WrestleMania 3. Case in point, this is why the WrestleMania 3 moment was so big, but now all these new fans just look at it as a highlight reel. I've seen Andre wrestle. I remember Andre the Giant very vividly. And then you have this Battle Royal, which gives an opportunity for young people that don't get a lot of spotlight, like the Social Outcasts, the Ascension, to really get these matches under their belts and really prove that they belong. And who knows, you could have a standout performance in a Battle Royal. It has happened before. I just hope the Big Show doesn't win it again. Alright, now let's talk about the New Day versus the League of Nations. I personally do not like the New Day, because there's only one man in that group that I like, and that's Big E. Kofi's a spot monkey, and Xavier, I watched him in TNA, and I wasn't impressed with him there. He was there for a long time, he really didn't do a whole lot. I think the New Day will probably lose the tag team titles once the Bullet Club debuts. Once Machine Gun Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows debut, I think their title run will come to an end. And it's been a long time coming, because I don't think they should have been tag team champions as long as they've been tag team champions. And I hate the League of Nations. You have Sheamus, who is overrated, can't do a whole lot in that ring. Rusev, I still remember a couple months ago where he broke his ankle getting out of the fucking ring. You have Del Rio, Del Rio I have big problems with, and I'm going to talk about it right here. Del Rio was in Lucha Underground, which was owned by AAA Mexico, which is the biggest Mexican promotion in all of Mexico and Puerto Rico. He was the heavyweight champion. He was supposed to defend his title, and he was under contract with Lucha Underground. He broke his contract to go to WWE, and then would not return the AAA Mega Championship. So, from October until just recently, they've had no champion. Until Texicano Jr. won the title from El Mesias, also known in Lucha Underground as Mil Muertes. But Del Rio has completely changed his style. His new finisher is extremely dangerous. You could blow out somebody's knee. You could snap their neck. Del Rio is so freaking overrated. The only member that I like of the League of Nations is leaving in June. Wade Barrett. They had so many chances to pull the trigger and give him the spotlight, but they never did it. Look at the League of Nations. They have no titles. They don't win that often. They try and make them sound more important than they are, and all they do is beat people up. That match isn't that interesting to me, and neither is the next one I'm going to talk about. Kalisto, who could be the new Rey Mysterio. I really like Kalisto. He's really been coming into his own, doing really well. I'm happy with all of his success. He's been doing very good. He's a good U.S. champion, but I'm just afraid they're going to give it to the Goldberg wannabe Ryback. Ryback's been there for like 8 years, and he doesn't do anything for me. He's a clothesline here, a shoulder block there. Ryback has injured so many people since he's been on the roster. Like, people can disregard CM Punk. Okay? Disregard all the stuff that Punk said. But he legitimately hurt Punk on 3 different occasions. He legitimately has hurt Jack Swagger on 2 different occasions. He legitimately hurt himself trying to do a splash on Bray Wyatt. He's not good at all. He's very stiff. And he doesn't really deserve a U.S. title shot. My opinion. You could have really done something else. How about Kalisto versus Sin Cara? That would have been more entertaining. You could have Kalisto versus anybody, but just not Ryback. And now I'm going to talk about the 2 main event matches. Hell in a Cell. Every year I wait to see who The Undertaker is going to wrestle. Last year I did not expect for it to be Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. But this year it's Undertaker versus Shane McMahon in a Hell in a Cell. If Undertaker loses, then he retires. If Shane wins, he gets control of Raw. So, Undertaker's really good, especially in Hell in a Cell, and Shane has always been entertaining. But if Shane ends The Undertaker's career, why would you have somebody like Shane McMahon end The Undertaker's career? The dead man deserves a big send-off. But I also don't think Shane McMahon's the guy to wrestle The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. I know I will, because I've seen these 2 wrestle before. And the build-up for this match has been really good. But again, you have 2 part-time wrestlers getting a big spot. They don't deserve this spot. They don't need this spot. Trust me. And now, let me talk about the main event. I have lots of problems with this. Okay, you have as your WWE champion. Okay, before we even get to that, let's fast forward back to November. Seth Rollins gets injured, so they decide they're going to give Roman Reigns the title. Roman Reigns, who has been shoved down our throats ever since the Shield broke up as the next John Cena, the next Rock, the next breakout star. And Vince McMahon is too fucking blind to see that half the crowd boos him all the time. And what is it? Roman won the WWE title from Dean Ambrose, which pissed off the fans, and you could hear the fucking boos, and that's probably why Sheamus came out, cashed in the briefcase, held on to the title for 2 weeks, and then Roman beat him. And then Roman beats him, and then he goes into the Royal Rumble match. He loses the championship. And of all the people, there were so many options. You could have had Dean Ambrose turn heel. You could have had AJ Styles win it for his debut, and that would have been something different than AJ joins the Authority. You have Triple H win the title. Why does Triple H, who had already held the title 13 times, is not active on the roster, has not been active on the roster in a long time? Why does he have to be the champion? A man who is 45 years old. A man who was champion when I was in high school. A man who is, he's the COO of the company. So why would you have him champion? And then, get this, normally, at the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, you would have a build-up. No. You have a triple threat match. Nobody earned a way into it. You have Brock Lesnar, Dean Ambrose, and Roman. Now, during this matchup, Roman Reigns gets his ass fucking handed to him repeatedly, over and over and over. And the only reason he won the match is because Ambrose beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar with a chair. And then, oh look, spear out of nowhere, Superman punch. Roman's the #1 contender. Oh, but wait, there's more. They thought that if they beat the ever-living shit out of Roman, the fans would turn and he would become a babyface. That all the fans will say, Roman Reigns, yay! No. Triple H is a heel, comes down in street clothes, beats the piss out of Roman Reigns, smashes his head in the announce table. Roman's too much of a frickin' pussy to blade like they used to. You know, like Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Sting, Austin, Rock, Ronnie Garvin, Bruno Sammartino. No. He puts a capsule in his mouth and he bites on it, and that's how he bleeds. But in the process, Triple H breaks his damn nose and he's out for a couple weeks. He goes and have surgery. Now the difference is, back in August, John Cena got his nose broken. His nose was like this. And John Cena was not out as long as Roman was. He was out for a week. He had reconstructive nose surgery too. And he was not out that long. And then he wrestled in the main event. And that had a better story than this build-up. What, Roman returns and he beats up Triple H, and Triple H actually blades for real. He gets busted open for real, and then they post a video of him having stitches. The thing is, they tried to push Roman, even tonight on Raw, they tried to push him even more, and this boos. He comes out, boo, boos, boos. When he wins, and we all know he's going to win the championship at WrestleMania, he's going to get booed. They have not built him like they should have. They should have had Roman off to the side. They should have had Roman Reigns going from feud to feud to feud. They didn't just give Austin the title right off the bat. Rock debuted in 1996 and did not win the championship until 1998. Triple H debuted with WWE in 1996. He did not win his first title until 1999. Mick Foley, 96. 98. Nobody wins titles just like that. Unless you're somebody special like The Undertaker. But you see, Roman's not special. I can't stand his matches. They're as bad as Hulk Hogan's. They're Ultimate Warrior level. And for all you people that think Ultimate Warrior was a great wrestler, go back and try and watch his matches. Ultimate Warrior has one of his matches considered one of the worst matches in the history of the business. And that would be Warrior and Hogan, WCW, Halloween Havoc, 1998. It was a stinker. It was bad. It was horrible. Warrior was always bad, and Roman's pretty bad too. Roman is not who I want to be champion. There's plenty of other people that have more talent, and I'm going to name some of them. Seth Rollins carried the company on his back for 236 days. He was champion. Dolph Ziggler should get another shot at being champion. Cesaro deserves to be champion. Kevin Owens has every tool that you need to be champion. He's good on the mic. He's good in the ring. His work ethic is getting better. And he has a great persona. AJ Styles. AJ Styles could be champion very easily. Finn Balor has all the tools to be champion. It's just, they're pushing the wrong people the wrong way. There's not enough build-up. And I'm not excited for WrestleMania. I'm excited for NXT TakeOver. Because TakeOver, to me, is a stronger card and has been a better build-up. Now, WrestleMania could blow my mind. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. But it's a possibility. I just wanted to get out here and tell you my thoughts and ideas. This could be an ongoing series, but this is my pre-thoughts to WrestleMania. And I'll do another video after WrestleMania to let you really know if I actually thought the show was good, bad. I'll also do one for NXT TakeOver Dallas. This is Chucky signing off, and I will see you next time.